Welcome to the Silicon Slopes Breakfast. Today we are so excited to talk with Kylie Chenn. She is the CEO and founder of Acanela Expeditions.
Food and flavors are an experience that connect people.
When I first launched Acanela, a lot of people don't know this. It was actually a spice company. So Acanela, before Acanela Expeditions, it was Acanela, because my whole idea was, I don't know if people, can go to these destinations. Can I bring them to them? I learned a lot of things through that. It was a fail. I'm big on failure, but it allowed me to pivot. I actually, right after I graduated, I had spent time traveling the next summer in Asia, just backpacking, very rustic. And I had been to about 25 countries by the time I graduated. And I remember sitting down with my brother-in-law. I married into a business family. He was like, Kylie, have you ever thought about actually doing trips? I think that's a lot more fun and there's a lot more revenue in that.
Talk to us about building this company and scaling it.
Yeah, so when I first started, honestly, when I put that first trip together, my whole goal was, hey, can we fill this and can we make it run profitably? I spent some time, my first few jobs in college, actually on sales teams. Thanks to Qualtrics, there's a lot of great companies in this area that gave me a good solid base in sales, and I just really, I love travel, and it was easy to talk about. And so those first few trips, it was really me pitching in front of people, that I didn't know. Hey, I'm going to India. Do you want to join me? I'm 20 years old. It's going to be fun. From the very beginning, I was all about partnerships, and that's still what we're about today. A lot of our early travelers came from partnership. Another big thing I attribute it to is right now, we have an email list of over 1 million. A lot of people wonder, how did you do that in 4 years? And so I went to something like this, actually, and someone talked about the importance of building an email list, and I was like, I need to build an email list. Okay, how am I going to do this? We put together a trip giveaway. We got some pretty good partners on board, and we started growing our email list, and that has contributed a lot to our email list. Their giveaways can be very controversial, but you can do them very successfully. We've worked with Fortune 10 companies like Volkswagen on our giveaways, and it's been really, really cool experience, and that's over the past 3 years really built our email list, and we've been able to kind of use that as the backbone of what we do. So that was a big inflection point for me, going from selling people in person or talking about travel to, hey, let's actually connect with people who I've never met.
So you have this travel company, but you didn't want it to be like every other travel company out there, because you saw firsthand the relationship that you were creating with these people in these local environments, artisans, and just these local people on your travels. And so how did you intertwine that into your business plan?
Yeah. This just happened because it's how I love to travel. When all the trips that I had done leading up to this point of launching that first, expedition branded as Acanela to India, I was meeting locals. I was seeing how they were living. I was, doing things with them every day, and it was such a cool experience. And I realized that it was just something that came naturally to me, but I realized that a lot of travel companies actually didn't focus on that. They focused on a lot of things that to me felt more removed because it's easy. It's easy to pre-package things and mass move people through experiences, seeing sites, and maybe you can incorporate some cultural experiences into that. But for me, I thought, I want to make sure, no matter where this goes, that those moments that have really touched me as a traveler are the core of what we're doing at Acanela. And it's definitely tricky as you grow. There's quality control, there's, okay, how do we scale in small communities that's sustainable and positively impactful for them, not negative in any way. We work with local boutique hotels that are locally owned and operated, nice properties, but also give you a sense of the local food. Usually they're family owned. It's a really cool experience. Tourism actually contributes to 10% of the world's GDP. A lot of people don't know that, over $7 trillion. And there's a lot of women in that industry, something that I'm particularly passionate about. And so to me, I see it as a huge opportunity to help locals build up sustainable businesses. I've always really looked for opportunities to be in a diverse setting. And so I think for me, being young, being female, being a founder, CEO, traveling to countries that maybe people, think, why are you going there, hasn't been hard. It's actually, I feel like, been easier because there's diversity. It's different. Like I bring diverse viewpoints, and it's never really felt like a challenge.
Kylie, I want you to share some stats right now. So how many countries have you visited?
I think I'm at 112.
Wow. And
Yeah.
I know you have a goal to visit how many before you're 30?
So my goal is actually kind of different. I don't have a goal to travel to every country in the world, but I do have a goal to make a friend in every country around the world, which means that I need to be able to either work in that country and or spend extensive time so that I can build that friendship. So I would love for that to happen before 30. I have 3 years, but there's 196 countries, so and I'm at the point right now, which I love, that I'm going back to a lot of countries that I've been to, which is awesome because I have built such solid friendships, people that I work with today, and it's almost as exhilarating for me to go back somewhere, take people who haven't been, to meet these incredible people that are going to make their experience so great.
Tell us about some of your favorite memories on these expeditions that you've taken people, because you've not only taken just the average traveler, you've taken corporate groups and all sorts of different groups. So do you have any experiences that really stick out to you?
An experience that I really loved, the first time I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, this is a good example. My husband and I created a great friend, Abdul. He actually led our trip up Kilimanjaro, our trek. And it was really cool. Afterwards, him and us and the few other people that we were with got to go and stay in his village and see actually how he was building his house brick by brick. He would build one layer after every climb because he would save enough to build one layer. And that was actually also the first experiences where I thought, how cool would it be to actually work with Abdul and help him sustainably, right? He's value for value, building his house. And so we actually work with him now to lead our treks up Kilimanjaro, which is really cool. And he employs his entire village as that leader. He's an incredible leader in his community. And so it's been really cool to see people go back and experience that.
Up next, I want to talk about the worldview of Silicon Slopes and Utah in general, because having traveled so much, you said people around the world do have a very interesting perspective on Utah.
People in all sorts of countries around the world know about Utah, know we're here, know the great people that are here, and also what's interesting is know the business that's happening.
You are an amazing success story at such a young age. Is there any one thing that you can pinpoint to say, I think this was a big part of it, or was it several things? Just tell us about that.
I honestly would say the biggest thing for me has just been grit, which is what we were talking about. I am lucky, and I feel very blessed that I chose an industry that I am extremely passionate about and that I can really do day in and day out, and there's always unique things for me to learn, and this is a good and a bad thing. I never want to shut it off. I love what I do. I envision myself doing it for the rest of my life. And that has kept me going through some pretty hard times. I'm not going to paint a pretty picture. There's been a lot of times where I've wanted to quit, shopped around to sell my business, a lot of different things, because it's very hard and it can be very draining. But for me, I just feel so blessed because at the end of the day, I love what I do. Figure out what you have or what makes you different or your viewpoint that other people in the room don't have. That's what needs to be voiced, because that's what's going to bring innovation and spark ideas that actually change things. And so that's something that has been huge for me. And I think it's just totally a mindset. I'd love to hear from all of you. For me, it was huge learning from other entrepreneurs and other people in the space. So I'm more than happy to share what I've learned, what I'm trying to learn. We can all grow together.
That's so generous. Can everyone give Kylie a big round of applause? Thank you.